This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book The Proximity Principle, and host of the Ken Coleman Show Daily, is here to answer your questions about jobs, careers, money, and life, and I'm here to help as well. Phone numbers at 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. So, Ken, 30 years ago, approaching 30 years ago, 1992 June, so this will be 91 June.
I had just graduated high school. Does that make you feel old?
Yeah, well, you're just a pup. And, man, I got socks older than most of the people that work here.
Kelly and I are the same age.
Yeah, that's... both of you just shut up. But, so, yeah, 29 years ago this summer,
Wow.
Getting ready to be 30 years anniversary, I wander in the back door of a broke radio station and convinced the guy to let me work for free.
I love that.
Because it would be fun. I told him if we were really bad, he could cut our pay in half. And we were bad. I mean, it was Daryl and his other brother Daryl doing talk radio. Country fried Tennessee hick accent, right?
Have you managed to lock those up in a vault, those early shows?
There's no tapes. I mean, they didn't.
No tapes.
The station was in bankruptcy. That's why he let me work for free. And they didn't tape anything. And we didn't even have a delay. If people cussed on the air, it just got over the air. It was it was before Janet Jackson and the Super Bowl. So we didn't run delays until after that. But I mean, it was. Hey, we're talking money. It's Dave Ramsey, WWTN. Can we help you? This is what it sounded like, people. It was there's nothing wrong with sounding that way. It just makes the people in Boston cringe. But and they think I live in a trailer or a broadcast from a double wide. So all these years later, I guess it's about 10 years ago or so, Talkers Magazine, we had worked our way up through the ranks of talk radio shows, and we got to number 3. Rush Limbaugh, of course, #1. And #1 talk radio show in America. And Sean Hannity, my friend Sean, #2. And then we were #3. And various people were floating around 4, 5, 6. Glenn Beck was there for a while. Various people were hanging out in the 4, 5, 6, 7 slots back and forth over the years. But pretty well the 3 of us were locked in at the top. And I kept trying to get Sean to quit so that I could move up. And he wouldn't quit. He likes doing it. And I give him a hard time about it. He gives me a hard time about it. I like him a lot. And then, of course, our friend Rush passes away this year. Real sad event. And so the Talkers Magazine just came out. And now I'm #2.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Not exactly the way I wanted to advance.
No.
You know? But I'd rather just beat somebody than have to just outlive them. Yeah. But, but that's okay. We'll take it. So we have 640 radio stations today. Wow. We are the largest talk radio network in America. We have more stations than Sean. And but he has more listeners than we do. And so he is the legitimate king. Long live the king. Shut up, Sean. But, long live the king.
Dave's not competitive at all.
Neither is Hannity. Hannity's just a little bit wired up, I'll just tell you. When I send him an email giving him a hard time about something, he zips me back. So, but he's a great guy, and long live the king. So he's #1. He's got more listeners than we've got. We've got more stations, but he's got more premium positions with listenership than I do across the breadth of the whole nation. Yeah. And of course, he's a lot more well known because he does a Fox show, and a lot more people know who he is than know who I am. He's a lot more famous. But I'm just sitting over here at #2, and
he hasn't helped as many people as you have.
Well, he might argue that, but
he can argue. He has the right to be wrong. I get to say this about you. I know you don't like that attention, but this is
well, I
this
haven't
is not
helped
an
anybody. I
opinion
show people how to help themselves.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So we're just excited about this.
We are.
It's quite an honor. Thanks to our friend Michael Harrison that runs Talkers Magazine. He puts out the Heavy 100 every year. I'm not as heavy as I was at this time last year.
That's an interesting adjective they throw there.
I don't know where he picked that up. Michael's a child of the 70s, so for sure. And he's a great guy, too. So thank you, Michael, and thank you, talkers. And
that's awesome.
We appreciate doing the rating. And he catches a lot of flack for doing these ratings because it's an imperfect process, and you're rating 100 people with big egos.
Massive.
So everybody's pissed off. A friend of mine was in the 40s, and I sent him a text last night. I said, congratulations, and he sent me one back, congratulations. But yeah, we all have to admit we open that thing up and look at it every year and see how we're doing. Although I already knew how I was doing, but it's a nice mention and a nice thing, and kind of a sad footnote, if you will, that, I've been sitting there at 3 for all these years, for probably a decade plus. I'll have to go back and look exactly how many years, but right about that. It's been Rush, Hannity, Ramsey, Rush, Hannity, Ramsey. And then, of course, Rush is gone, and so here we are. And all we did was give people common sense advice. But it turns out common sense is a superpower.
Yeah.
So there you go. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. You guys jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. And Ken, that side note on that story is it fits in with the Ken Coleman Show. You tell folks to get in proximity.
Yeah.
And I went down and did that show. I really did not have an intention of having a radio career.
No. You just wanted to help people.
I just saw it as a way. I had written Financial Peace. It was in the trunk of my car, and I saw it as a way to sell books. I saw it as a way to help people get out of debt. And I thought, if I get on the air and just run my mouth, and the interesting thing is the phones have been jammed, even as horrible as we were on the air. I mean, we were just country fried. It was bad. But people call from day one. You have not been able to get through the phones on this show ever since I turned it on.
It's a great lesson there. I want you folks to catch this. Dave had a driving passion to help people who had money problems, some people that had experienced what he had, and then he wanted to stop other people from falling into that trap. And that right there is passion and mission. You loved communicating. You're a natural teacher. You were doing it in your church. You were doing it at the kitchen table. Then you said, well, how can I reach more people? So let me go try this little country fried radio station. And you go on, and the phones pick up. Why? And this is the lesson. It wasn't because you were a great radio broadcaster, because you weren't.
It wasn't.
And you were still figuring out your messaging. The baby steps didn't even exist then. Here's what I want people to hear. But what Dave was saying is, I'm willing to help you with this problem. He was very clear on the people he wanted to help. This is where mission comes in. We talk about this on the Ken Coleman Show. Everybody wants to do work that matters, and you got to figure out who are the people I want to help. The problem that they have that I want to help them solve, and what's the best solution to help them solve that. And you started out not knowing how good it was going to be, figuring it out as you go. But here's the deal. People said, I've got that pain. I've got that problem. Dave, can you help me? And sometimes we get so worried about how good it's going to sound or how good our solution is, instead of going, I know that pain exists because I felt it and I can help people. Just be faithful. Just show up. You never know what God's going to do. And that's what this whole story is about.
And it's also be careful what you wish for.
That is true.
This is The Ramsey Show. Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless. Coleman Ramsey personality is my co-host today. Rena is in Seattle. Hi, Rena. How are you?
Hey, Hi, Ken. How are ya?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Thanks for taking my call. Okay, so my dad passed away 2 years ago, exactly 2 years ago. And he left us with the opposite of a legacy. He left us with a mess. No will, nothing whatsoever in regards to bank accounts, any of that. But so he spent the majority of his life living in another country, in Iran. And my mom just recently went over there to kind of try to finalize things. And she called me and asked if she could send money over and deposit it into individual accounts, like my kids' savings account. So because she's trying to avoid any sort of penalties or taxes, and I'm clueless, and I don't want to end up getting in trouble or penalized for that. Do you know how any of that, or can you explain to me how any of that would work?
I have no idea about Iran. I can tell you that inherited money in the United States is not taxable.
Okay, so if it's sent over from another country, you don't know.
Yeah. Why does she just not send it to her account?
I think she's worried that if she sends all of it to her account, that she's going to have to pay heavy taxes. So she's thinking,
well, she needs to get some information and get some knowledge, because she's not going to pay any taxes. And if she gives the money away, she might have gift taxes.
She needs the money, though. He left her with absolutely nothing. So I worry that even when
how much money is involved?
I'm thinking anywhere between $50,000 and $100,000. I don't think it's going to be more than that, but I worry then when she gets through, she's going to then want me to transfer all of that money or withdraw it to give it to her, and then I'm on the line again.
Yeah, she does not need to send it to your kids or you. She needs to send it and put it in her own account. There are no tax implications in the United States for doing that. Now, there might be something to do with Iran. I have no idea what happens over there.
Yeah.
But and you know, to be super sure, she would just contact an estate attorney here in the States that does wills and does probate, and he can give her some instruction, or she can give her some instruction on how to do this properly. But the common sense aspect of it is simply send the money. It's your money, and you're transferring your money from Iran to the United States. There's absolutely no implication of that at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they were married, right?
Yeah, here's the thing. They were married in Iran, but divorced in the U.S.
So how is she getting possession of this money? Because she's married in Iran?
Yeah, she stayed married in Iran because she knew that he was never going to do a will or anything like that. He was in denial that he was even going to die, even though he had cancer for however many years.
Okay. So given that this is not her husband in the United States, then this is like me taking the money from his name and put it into my name. So she needs to contact a tax attorney and or an estate planning attorney, but she does not need to send it to your kids. That's dumb butt.
Okay.
She's going to make a mess. Your instinct was right. She's going to make a mess, and she's acting like she knows what she's doing, and she has no idea what she's doing. So just get an attorney, spend $500 on it, get a little bit of advice on how to properly do this, because it's very complicated. This is an ex-wife by United States law, and I don't know what the divorce decree says. I don't know that she has any rights to this money. I have no idea. Because I don't know if the marriage in Iran gives her rights to it legally in the United States. So that's squirrelier than crud. So no, you do not want it going into your kid's name, because she might technically be accused of stealing it at some point.
Oh, boy.
I don't know who would accuse her of that, who's alive that would care, but maybe his brother still lives in Iran. I don't know. So there's no will. I don't know how she's getting access to the money. I guess because she's a wife there. Golly, it's complicated. No, she needs legal advice, and you do not put this in your kid's name. Your instinct is correct. That could be a mess.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why lawyers exist.
Oh, God.
As much as you hate to acknowledge that, this is absolutely straightforward here, that you've got to get this figured out before anything gets transferred. Yeah. Because Iranian law, oh boy.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you got to get out of there. Charlie's in Cleveland. Hey, Charlie, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Thank you for what you do, and congrats on your second largest talk show.
Thank you, sir.
Rating. Yeah. So my question is, I have some large life events coming up. My wife is turning 50, and next year we're having our 25-year wedding anniversary.
Yay!
And, yeah, right, it's awesome. So I was calling to see if the amount of money I was looking to spend was out of line, in your opinion. So for her birthday, I was looking to spend $5,000 on a gift. And for our anniversary, I was looking at taking like maybe a $10,000 trip.
Do you have the money?
So we allocate.
That's an easy question. Do you have the money?
Yes.
Okay, you have the money. So are you in debt?
I owe about $85 on my house.
That's all. Okay. And what's your household income?
It's about $200.
So why do you need my permission to spend $5,000?
We're pretty frugal, and we do every dollar. We budget every dollar. Literally, $300 for the salt for my water bill. We budget it.
Good. I mean, we do too. We have a detailed. We're very intentional with our money, but we have the money to go on a $10,000 trip, and so do you.
We haven't set a budget for any of that, so I would take it from somewhere else in my on-hand cash.
Yeah, which I suspect, listening to you, you're such a tightwad, you got a lot of on-hand cash.
It's all relative, sir.
Okay, how much on-hand cash do you have?
So I probably have $50 for an emergency fund. I probably got $25 for the next car we buy. We probably have $25 for an investment opportunity that is going to come our way sometime in the future. And we probably have a little more cash lying around, too.
Yeah, dude.
Let me tell you, I just found your investment opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's called your wife.
Yep. I would invest in two of the biggest dates in her life, her 50th and her 25th anniversary, dude. Stop thinking, man.
That's it. Yeah, you're overthinking this. You've done a really good job with money.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You got to remember this, Charlie. There's only 3 things you can do with money, and you have to do all 3. You can be generous with it, you can invest it, and you can enjoy it. And you have to do all 3 to have a good life. Most people only enjoy it. They're broke. Some people only save it. That's you. So you need to also have fun and enjoy some of the money. And to take $15,000 out of that future investment fund and do this, if I were in your shoes, if Ken were in your shoes, Stacy and Sharon would demand this.
Our greatest investment, and the ROI it's just priceless. When you're talking about that.
Well, I think we're deeply in debt, and we're still trying to pay our way out. That's what it really is.
Yes, the debt we will never pay off.
The debt we will never pay off.
Convince those
Stacey
good women
and Sharon,
to marry us.
We will never dig out of this hole.
That is true.
We married so far up that we're always climbing.
Yeah, he needs to gamify this, Dave. He needs to turn this into a game where he can rework his budget. The guy loves his budget. He's a good dude. He's disciplined.
Yeah.
Rework that budget to reach these financial. So you got the 5, and then you got
a year and a half.
Good gracious!
You make $200,000.
Enjoy
$15,000.
Enjoy this.
So the interesting thing is what you said was very true. It is relative.
Yeah.
And this is a very small amount of money out of what you have saved and out of what you make. If you make $20,000 a year and you're $40,000 in debt, the answer is no. You don't need to spend that kind of money on luxury items, birthday gifts, and that kind of thing. But, sir, you have done a very good job. Enjoy your money. That's one of the things it's good for. This is The Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, on the debt-free stage, Armando and Megan are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good, how are you, Dave?
Better than we deserve. Where do y'all live?
Portland, Oregon.
Oh, wow. Bit of a haul to Nashville.
Yeah.
So how much debt have you guys paid off?
We paid off $54,000 in 6 months.
Good for you. And how long, I'm sorry, what was your range of income during that 6 months?
153.
Pretty steady.
Okay. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm in law enforcement.
I work in healthcare admin.
You're in law enforcement in Portland, Oregon?
Well, relative.
We're praying for you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a suburb?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're a little ways. We're like an hour
okay.
south
In the
of Portland.
area of Portland.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
feel better for you already.
Yeah.
Worried about you, brother. That's a rough call right there, man. Oh, wow. $54,000. What kind of debt?
It was all me. It was my student loans, my car, and 2 credit cards.
Okay. So how long y'all been married?
Yeah.
We got
about a
married
year.
in August.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
first order of business, clean up the mess.
Yes. Yes.
Got it. Okay. So
Actually, I started this journey in at the end of 2015 when I was single and still had yet to meet Megan. I paid off close to $60,000, and I had my emergency fund all built up when I met Megan, and
Oopsies.
she heard about Dave Ramsey, that's for sure,
wow.
Yeah.
when I met her.
Wow.
It was funny. I feel it was funny just listening to your entry music. When I first met him, I was like, man, what is this? And I was listening to it here, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is the song. I like it.
Yeah, you could be walking through Home Depot and hear
Yeah.
Jerry Rafferty, and it's all about
Exactly.
Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay, so tell me this story. You guys are dating. How long before Armando starts not being romantic and talking about money?
I think on our 3rd date, he played your podcast on our way to dinner. I was like, oh, this is lovely.
That's next
No,
level
you're a real
intentionality.
Casanova, dude. Golly.
And then our life just kind of unfolded from there, and we had to move states, and he proposed to me right before COVID happened, so that was fun. So
Oh, yeah.
our wedding planning was fluctuating.
Pivot.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And then we decided actually to elope and kind of set ourselves up for a better future going forward, and
That's fun.
saving all that money. Yeah, so
That's fun.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the 3rd date, you get the podcast.
Yep.
Oh, that's just
Yep.
gross. I'm so sorry.
I love it.
I didn't do it, but I'm so sorry. All laughing aside, how long in this discussion was it before, Megan, before you started going, okay, this kind of comes with the package with Armando. I'm going to have to work on this.
About the 3rd date. Yeah.
Same time, yeah.
We had
Not even before dinner. No.
it was so even with our elopement, we came home from getting married where our family lives in Washington, and we were in the door maybe an hour, and he's like, okay, let's start clicking it in and let's start making payments. I was like, okay, well, happy honeymoon.
Wow.
It was great though. It was, I
Wow.
mean, we paid it off in 6 months, and it's amazing.
So, Armando, had you built up some cash to throw at it?
I did. I had $20,000 in emergency fund, and so
Okay.
we threw 19 at it. It was just
Followed the baby steps
textbook.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I had some in an educational IRA that we moved to a 529. It was just a matter really for me was understanding my finances and where they were at, and why in the world was I having that $10,000 just sit in there when I was having the debt over here. It was, a pound of feathers, pound of bricks. So it was just a matter of he had taught Financial Peace University too, so he was a really good teacher in teaching me how all this works.
Okay.
I would say.
All right. Thorough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the saying again? I haven't heard that in years. Pound of
pound of feathers or a pound of bricks.
Pound of feathers, pound of bricks. Still
same,
a pound.
Same.
I hadn't heard that in 20 years.
I know.
That's a great saying.
So good.
Where'd you grow up?
Well, northern Washington, right below the border.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So.
Interesting.
So Armando, I got to ask you this. So you shared with us that you, before meeting your wife, paid off 60. Now you got 54. I love that you just emptied that emergency fund because I know that's painful. Yeah. I mean, to get that to 20 and then cut a check for 19.
Painful. He got her out of the deal.
Well, that's true. But still, I really want to hear what was it like to go through it a second time? What'd you learn? Was there anything different? Was it easier?
It was faster and emotionally easier.
It was, but the difference was seeing the money come from the savings account and just being emptied out. It just gave me a more sense of urgency to get back there because I knew what it felt like to have that.
Yeah.
I'm doing some writing on millionaires right now, and the old saying is the second million is easier.
Oh.
And after I went broke, after having $1 million, getting the second $1 million was easier because I knew I could do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you knew you could do it. So that's why I said that.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I've already killed a bear. I've already killed a lion. This giant is nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that's what David said, right? So I know I can do this.
Yeah.
And so you knew you could do it, and it hurt, but it was a short-term thing because you knew you'd be done fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had a fire underneath him, that's for sure.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing. Okay, so tell people, financial peace teacher, coordinator, and professional debt reducer.
Yes.
60,000 and then
true.
54,000. Both of you, what are the keys that people need to know if they want to get out of debt?
I would say the budget. I mean, being single the first time, it was just me, making the decisions, being accountable to myself. But when I got married with Megan, it was just communication for me, trying to explain why I'm doing what I wanted to do instead of just doing it and not communicating it.
We had a lot of conversations of like, no, that really doesn't make sense. And he's like, no, it does. Just look. I'm like, well, how about this way? And he's like, no, it's this way. This is the way. I'm like, okay, this is the path. Okay, I get it.
Very patient, Armando.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then a lot
but
for
also
me-
resolute.
Yes.
A lot for me, Dave, was I heard this mentioned previously on your show by somebody, and it was a lot of I needed to slow down. I'm such a planner. I'm reading Rachel's book right now, and she talks about a section of like planning weekend trips out to the coast and this and that. And I was a matter of like, I need to stop doing that because it's not just a weekend trip. It's $250, $500. And we knew it was going to be temporary. So now, pause on life kind of a little bit, but now we get to be here on a week-long vacation.
Week-long trip.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nashville and whatever. Yeah. Nice.
Technically our honeymoon, I guess.
Nice. There we go. Yeah, because he's got some making up to do on that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Came home and sat down at the computer and started pecking away. Yeah, that's just great. Wow, guys, I'm so proud of you.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing. What a great
you.
couple.
Thank
How's it feel?
Feels great and
Really great.
just expecting our first right now.
Oh, fun.
So it's nice to know once she gets here that we really have financial peace. It's great.
Yeah. Will you ever go back in debt?
Absolutely not.
Never.
No.
Not any reason to. Yeah, you make really good money. You got a baby on the way. Life is good. I'm so proud of y'all. What a great deal.
you.
You guys are rock stars.
Thank you.
You're such heroes. It's so fun. We've got a copy of Legacy Journey because that's what you've done. You've changed your legacy. And I want you to read through that. And then we'll give you another copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away.
Thank you.
And pay it forward to somebody. Thank you for teaching the
Absolutely.
class. We appreciate that. And we are honored that you guys came down here and shared part of your honeymoon with us.
Thank you.
Too fun. All right, Armando and Megan from the Portland, Oregon area. $54,000 paid off in 6 months, making $153,000. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Woo! Woo! That is fun.
Yes.
Wow.
Love that.
That's a power couple right there.
Yeah, they were on key as well. I don't know if they planned that. Then the tears from Megan right after that moment of the scream. That's what I love about watching and hearing these screams. They crossed the finish line emotionally. They've already done the hard work. Now it's the celebration. Good for them.
You get a touchdown, baby.
Yeah.
Woo!
So good.
I love it. Very cool. This is the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, host of the Ken Coleman Show, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. A bunch of you have checked taxes off the list for this year, but tax season is still going if your state got an extended deadline. If you want to get them done on time, which of course you do, you've got a couple of options, either online yourself or by paying a pro. We've been thrilled, and thousands of users have too, with our Ramsey Smart Tax online filing tool this year. It is the best choice out there if you've got simpler taxes. Yes, if you need simple taxes, but that doesn't mean it's simple software. Our software can handle whatever you throw at it. You can do all the deductions, all the standard ones, everything, right in Ramsey Smart Tax. If you want a refund, let me remind you, refunds are a sign you overpaid. You need to get the refund, but then you need to reset up everything. And don't let somebody charge you some asinine processing fee like these other guys. It's easy, it's online, it's very inexpensive, and we're not going to do anything else except help you with your taxes. Ramsey Smart Tax. Text tax to 33789, tax to 33789. Travis is in Virginia Beach. Hi, Travis. How are you?
I'm well, sir. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So, I was wondering, I'm 20 years old, currently on baby step 3. I have about $40,000 across all my savings accounts, and I'm just wondering on when would be a good time to move out and whether I should buy or rent. I'm currently working 2 jobs and running a business myself, and just a lot going on right now.
Sure.
Trying to decide what I should do.
Sure. What do you make?
Last year I netted about 45 to 50, right around there.
Good for you. What do you do?
So I sell clothing as my business, and I work in a restaurant, and I work in a screen printing place as well.
How many hours a week are you working?
So I work double shifts when I do work 2 times a week, and then I run my business. I'm very busy during that. I sell clothing, so I ship, internationally, nationally, go around buying stuff and selling it. So, yeah, it's a lot going on.
You don't even know how many hours you work. You're busting it, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I would agree.
And your question is, should you move out? You mean move out of your parents' house, somebody else's house? What are we asking?
Yes, sir. My parents' house.
Yeah.
I was asking whether I should buy or rent. I have a good chunk in savings as well.
I'd rent for a little while.
Yep.
Right.
You're 20.
I agree.
There's a lot going to happen in the next 3 years in your life. A lot of change is coming in the next 3 to 5 years of your life. And one thing, it's okay to buy if you want to buy, but I would rent for a little while. And if you buy in a year and then 2 years later you meet the special girl, you will discover you bought the wrong house.
Yeah.
She'll tell you that.
Hey, that's as much truth as you'll ever hear, Travis. I promise you right now.
So, and then you'll have to move again. So it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right if you want to buy. But here's the thing. sometimes there's so much pressure in our culture to not throw money away on rent, to own, that we buy at a time maybe we shouldn't. Renting is okay for short periods of time where there's patience involved. And what your first step out of the nest can be is just something very simple, and you just pay the rent. If something breaks, you call the landlord. They have to fix it. You're not in the repair business. You're not in the yard cutting business. You're not in any of these things. You just live there and keep working and piling up money. And in a year or two, if you want to buy something, you're going to have a really big pile of money by then, aren't you?
Yeah, my biggest concern was I sell clothes, so I store everything in my house, and just having the storage, like leaving it at home, it would be a drive just to ship stuff out, and like renting, I couldn't rent an apartment. I would have to rent a house. So I was just.
You live in a house now, don't you?
Yeah, it's just, and inflation and everything is just a big concern.
Oh, I'm not worried about inflation for 2 years.
Right.
You're just getting started in your career. I'm not even worried about inflation with a guy who hustles like you hustle. I worry a lot more about lazy people than I do inflation.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, you're going to be all right, man. Yeah. You're going to be just fine. Go if you want to rent a little house, go rent your little house. I don't care. You don't have to rent an apartment.
Yeah.
And have 3-bedroom house and fill up the other 2 bedrooms with your inventory. You're making bank on this. What are you doing? Buying used clothes and reselling them?
Yes, sir.
Like eBay?
Yeah, eBay, different sites. Grailed is one.
Yeah, I talked to a guy the other day that had made $35,000 last year doing that.
Hold on a second.
Travis. You buy a pair, buy something for a quarter at a garage sale, put it on eBay for $3.
Thrift stores, man. I'm telling you.
Travis, I got some clothes I need to sell you, buddy.
No, he buys cheap, son. He sells high.
I get it, Dave. I was saying, man.
You're going to get $4 out of this transaction off this guy.
Right now. I like this.
Yeah.
Selling clothes.
Yeah, no, selling it's good. You want him to sell them for you. You don't want him to buy them from you.
Yeah, I thought
because he buys for nothing.
I get it. I get how he's doing it. You heard him say thrift stores. He's going in and finding
stud, man.
Thrift stores in wealthy areas.
Would you run for Congress and take over the world, son?
Oh,
please.
Yeah. No, don't, Dave. He'll go to Congress and it'll ruin him.
Oh well, I'm thinking maybe he could ruin Congress.
Yeah, I know. I'm cynical.
I know, me too.
The air up there in D.C. is different.
It's foul. James is in Sydney, Australia. No way. What's up, James?
Hello, how are you? Thank you.
Man, I love your town. We got to go there in February last year, but right before COVID hit, and we had a blast. I love Sydney.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah.
How can we help?
Yeah, so I have been saving up for 16 months till end of the last year, which is about 35,000 Australian dollars. And this money, I've been sending them to my parents' account, so I'm not tempted to spend it. And I think it was a wise choice. I would have definitely spent it. And I have been paying off my student debt on top of this as well. But all of a sudden, I was struck with the news that all of my saving was invested on a Tesla stock by my father. Allegedly, this will be given back in 4 years from him, and he predicts it will be quadrupled by then.
Wait a minute. Why 4 years?
Now it just seems, I don't know. That's his plan, apparently.
Oh.
Okay. And anyhow,
how old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay. And your dad just decided he was going to take your money and put it in Tesla stock to help you out?
Yep.
Okay.
So he thinks he's making money, apparently. So which I wouldn't deny it, given that if he just gets it out now, it will be about
by the end of today.
Just a little less than a double.
By the end of today, he needs to get it out and send it to you. You're 29 freaking years old. You need to be a big boy and not spend your own money. And you need to be a big boy, and your daddy doesn't do your investing for you.
I mean, I didn't even ask for it, so he literally owes me $35,000.
Do I know?
Sorry?
You already asked for it?
He literally owes me $35,000, and even if I ask for it, he'll be like, nah. He will give it back 4 times of it if it quadruples.
No, I want my money right now. I didn't send it to you Dad, I didn't send it to you to invest in Tesla. I need you to cash the Tesla stock, and I need you to send me my $35,000 right now.
Well, actually, my student debt is around $29,000.
Okay.
Do you reckon it's wiser to actually just have that, and I don't know, maybe I'll get about $6,000? But
do you owe your dad on the $29,000? Is your dad tied up in your student debt in any way?
No.
I'm sorry?
No, I mean, student debt is my debt. So.
No, so it's not any of his concern.
Well, I'm also paying that on top of it anyway. So
I got that, but you when I gave you a very direct thing to do, your answer was you started talking about something else.
No. What I mean is,
I know what you mean. You don't want to deal with your dad, is what you mean.
That's absolutely right,
dude. You need to throw your shoulders back. Get on the phone with your father this afternoon. He's misbehaving. He needs to cash in your freaking Tesla stock and send you your money. And then you, as a man, can make decisions about what you want to do with your money. Yes, I would suggest you pay off your student loan debt, but that's a separate equation. You need to get your money back today.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. You can listen to all our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. Browse by topic or even sync clips to your friends. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. We're going to talk about your life and your money. Ken on the Ken Coleman Show, 75 radio stations, Sirius XM radio, big-time podcast and YouTube channel, talks about your job, your career, finding work that matters, knowing what you're passionate about and that you're good at, and figuring out a way to put all that together to make a really fun, good life. We're going to talk to you about that today, as well as take your questions about your life and your money. 888-825-5225. Speaking of jobs, Ken, Anton is in Los Angeles with a job question.
Hi, gentlemen. How's it going? Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
All right. So I have a bit of a good problem to have with some options. So just wanted to get your input, and I'm so excited that Ken is on today as well. So long story short, I've been with my company for about 4 years now. Last year, at the end of the year, I decided that this year I was going to start looking for a new job, mainly due to reasons of lack of development. It feels a little stale. Anytime I would ask for a little bit more work or something to do, it's just kind of like, yeah, well, we'll see what we could do. But management's not really interested in training or developing a career for anybody. So I was like, okay, I appreciate the work I do, and I'll just see what else is out there. About a month and a half ago, I got a new offer from another company, which I accepted. It came with about a $17,000 of a raise and a title raise as well, so I was very excited. When I went to give my 2 weeks, I spoke to my CFO at my current job, and he essentially said that he would match my salary, he would put me on a plan to have a promotion within 12 months, and he would make sure to mentor me and help me grow. So that kind of helped me make it, and I decided to stay. So it helped me make a decision to stay. Here's the problem. Nothing got put in writing. So I contacted the new job and I turned down that offer. Nothing at my old job got put in writing. So when the raises came around, I only, out of the $17,000 that he agreed to match, only about 9 came as a raise, and the other 8,000 came as a one-time bonus that got deposited into my account, which is great for the cash, but it got super taxed. And, I went to talk to him about it, and he basically told me that that's the best he could do, because if he actually put the whole $17,000 raise as salary,
wait a minute. I got it. The guy's a jerk. He doesn't keep his word. So what's your question?
So my question is, they paid me out the one-time bonus, right? And is it okay for me to start looking for a new job again? Like I feel a little.
This is the danger in what they did to themselves.
Yeah, and it's also the danger.
Not only did they lie and not keep their word, they gave you all the money up front. Well, this was stupid.
Yeah, and Anton, you saw this. You saw that there was no development. They weren't serious about pouring into you. That's a sign of a great culture, a company that develops their existing people and promotes them if those people receive the development and do a really good job. And you saw the handwriting on the wall, and yet you got talked back into doing it. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to knock on you, but I want you to learn from this. So yes, you start looking. I'd call the other company and see if there's still an opportunity. Probably not, but I certainly would start there. And I would look, and I would hold fast to the lesson that you've just learned.
Yeah, and your CFO's getting ready to learn a new lesson.
Yeah.
He just gave you a signing bonus for the new company.
Right.
That's what happens when you screw people.
Yeah.
I just felt like, is it unethical for me to, you know what I mean?
No,
let me unethical was him, not you.
Yeah, he lied.
Okay.
He lied.
Period. End of story.
Unless you changed your story. Is what you told us what really happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then he lied, right?
Yeah. I think he just put his foot in his mouth, and then when he went to do it,
that's a form of lying.
Yeah. Dave, I see this a lot. This is poor management, and it's manipulation. A lot of managers and leaders, I wouldn't even call them true leaders.
They're weak.
They're so weak, and they manipulate people. And this was a scarcity move. He was like, okay, hey, I'll tell you what. If you stay, I'll do this. And he didn't value Anton. He didn't have a principle involved in the decision.
He was afraid the work wasn't going to get
That's it. I got to solve a problem. I'm going to manipulate somebody.
Well, and he didn't have approval. And so when he went back to... He's a CFO. He ought to get his own approval.
I was going to say, does he need approval?
Well, this is just bogus. So we don't have to figure this out. All we got to figure out is, Anton, you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And if you get a job really quick, that $8,000 that they put in your account extra is a bonus. And that's what it costs them for not keeping their word. No, there's nothing unethical about what you're doing at all. The lack of ethics was on the other side of the equation.
Yeah, and be encouraged. Don't get discouraged here. You found something before, you'll find other things, and now just walk forward. Yeah. So don't get down on this.
1 year from today, don't be working there.
Oh, yeah. No.
Out. So, how do you keep good people?
Well, number one, you develop them.
You
good people want to advance.
Them a track to become more, to move up, and you give them training to move up that track. Oh, and you keep your word.
Yes.
Why is this hard?
Yeah, do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah. That's why there's no competition.
Yeah.
Because most people won't work hard and tell the truth.
That's right.
You can beat most people by just working hard and telling the truth.
Yeah.
Most people can't even do that.
Yeah.
And so that's why there's no real competition out there.
Yeah.
So, Anton, hit the road.
You know, Dave, there's also a leadership lesson here for people who listen to the show that lead people. Don't make leadership so daggum complicated. Again, same advice. Don't lie to people. And if you give them a ladder, show them a ladder where they can grow with you, and then develop them so they can do it, as Dave just said. Recognize them, reward them, and keep them in a place where they're doing really, really good work and they enjoy it. They will stay with you for a very, very long time. But don't overcomplicate this. Don't try to manipulate people. By the way, Dave, we know this from data. People don't leave companies. They leave leaders.
They leave their manager.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. They get tired of that guy, that gal.
Yeah.
And being jerked around, being kept in the dark, not being told what's going on, not being given anything to do that you can actually measure the traction on. This is just not that hard.
No.
EntreLeadership, we teach this stuff all the time.
Yeah, go dive into that.
Yeah, it's the whole thing there. Ken Coleman is my co-host today. This is Common Sense for your life, common sense for your dollars and cents. It's the Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
If you're in debt, it can feel like you're constantly at war with all those freaking bills. And sometimes it feels like the bills are winning. You might wonder if you're ever going to get ahead. Well, listen, it does not have to be like this. You can pay off all the debt. And when you do, you'll finally move forward. You'll build the kind of life you want with your money, and we'll show you how. We'll show you in Ramsey Plus. With this membership, you'll learn how to take control of your money and ditch your debt for good. Plus, you get all the tools you need to make it happen. You can get ahead. Ramsey Plus includes Financial Peace University, Every Dollar Premium, which ties to your bank, community, coaching, all kinds of things there to walk with you, help you, make sure you do the stuff you hear us talk about here every day on the air. Text the word trial to 33789 for a free trial of Ramsey Plus. It's a free trial of Ramsey Plus. Text trial to 33789. Jay is with us in Tampa. Hi, Jay. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Ken. Hope you're both having a great day. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Our pleasure. How can we help?
So my question for you guys is sort of a two-parter. First, I have an old employer-sponsored IRA that was transferred to a trust company. I'd like to move that money, but I don't know if I should move it to my new employer's sponsored 403B or if I should open a Roth IRA because I don't have one yet, move the money there and kind of see, kind of take any penalties or anything that may come along with that.
There's no penalties, and I would roll it to a traditional IRA, not a Roth, in good mutual funds. How much money's in the account?
It's not a lot. It's like $1,500.
Okay. Just click SmartVestor at Dave Ramsey or RamseySolutions.com and find a SmartVestor Pro in your area. They can help you with the paperwork and opening up an IRA, and you just roll it to that. Someday later, when you're out of debt and you have some extra money, then you would just use that to convert it from a traditional to a Roth because that makes the taxes come due. There is no penalties on what we're talking about. But here, folks, when you leave your job, you always take your retirement with you if you can. And if you've got a 401k, you can. If you got a employee-sponsored thing with lump sum, you can. And you always roll it to a traditional IRA where there's no taxes in good mutual funds. That way you have better investment options and you have more control. Always take your retirement with you and never put it, there's no reason to put it into the new employer. None whatsoever. Michael is in Alaska. Hey, Michael, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be talking to you.
You too. What's up?
Hey, so I just got a quick question. I got a little bit of consumer debt, and I own a home, so I got a little bit of equity. What are your thoughts on possibly taking out a HELOC or equity loan to pay off that consumer debt, bring down the APR and stuff like that, and then just throw that equity loan into my debt snowball?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because you're going to feel like you did something, and you didn't do anything. All you did was move it. Now listen, all you did was move it. Interest rate's not your problem. Lack of a budget, lack of focus, lack of attacking this is your problem. You need to get fired up and pissed off about being in debt.
Okay.
And get after your debt. List it smallest to largest, pay minimum payments on everything but the little one, and get after it. Because here, the problem when people move debt around, they use words like pay it off. You didn't pay it off. You moved it. And 2% savings on the interest rate is not your issue. Your issue is getting focused, getting on a budget, living on beans and rice, selling so much stuff the kids think they're next. Get fired up and wired up, baby. That's what does it. That's what moves the needle. Ken, there's so much of what you teach about jobs and what we teach here that is about action. Mm-hmm. It's motive, which leads to motivation.
Yes.
Personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. There's so much about a job, or choosing a career, stepping into something that is about, don't try to trick it. Don't try to trick your way past the hard work. There's no shortcut to any place that's worth going, Beverly Sills used to say.
She's absolutely right. And so why are you going after it? You've got to remind yourself on the journey, why am I doing this? I get that it takes time. If you walked out on the street today with a camera and a microphone and you asked people, are you willing to do whatever it takes to get where you want to go, whether it be career or in your money, most people look at you and instantly say, absolutely. But if I followed up and I said, well, but I think they mean that. But then here's the follow-up question. If I said, are you willing to wait as long as it takes?
Ooh.
That's exactly what happens. They literally can respond that way, and here's why. There's something about the human condition where we want everything now. That's what this journey is all about. It's what Dave talks about all the time. It is the budget helps you control the behavior issue to where you go, hey, this is a long slog. This is going to take time. And so you have to, whether it's in your career and doing work that you deeply want to do because you know you were put on this planet to do it, or it's paying off debt, and saving money so that you can live like no one else. All of this is the same exact conversation. You want to live like no one else? You want to work like no one else? It's going to take time, and you better have the big picture in mind and know that this is a climb, but it is going to be worth it when I get there. There's no shortcut. There is not a shortcut.
A generation ago, there was one of the world's best golfers was a guy named Gary Player.
Yes.
And the story's been told about him over and over and over again through the years that he was warming up at a tournament on the driving range, and he's, pulling back that driver and sailing that ball out there 300, 360, 350 yards, whatever, just popping that drive straight as a string. And this guy walks up behind him and goes, I would give anything to hit a golf ball like that. Mm-hmm. And I think he caught him at the wrong moment because he turned around and said, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah, it's a fantastic story.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
you would not stand out here in the heat and hit 2,000 golf balls. Hit golf balls so long that you get blisters. Hit golf balls so long that the blisters bust.
Yeah.
Hit golf balls so long that you can't hold the golf club anymore from the busted blisters. You tape up your hands and you hit another 1,000 balls. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's right.
You wouldn't do anything to hit a golf ball like that. To which the poor guy just said, "I'm sorry I asked, but just But yeah, that's the thing. I would do it. No, you wouldn't. You got to be willing to do it. And so that's the thing. And I'm not picking on Michael here. That's not the issue. But the issue is there's a thing about action and paying the price, live like no one else so that later you can live like no one else, that supersedes a little bit of interest saved by moving it to a HELOC.
So true.
88% of the people that move their debt over for debt consolidation go further into debt, don't get out of debt.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times.
Yeah. It's interesting.
They don't change their habits that put them in there in the first place.
That's right.
They feel like they did something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's dangerous, to feel like you did something when you did nothing.
Yeah. There's a theme here we're talking about, folks, that Dave just brought up. You got to be passionate about getting out of debt. That gazelle intensity, where's that come from?
Passionate about getting the next job.
You got to be passionate about doing work that you were created to do to help people. So what's fun is you do a word exercise, and there's a German word, and there's also a Greek word. The root word of passion means to suffer. Now, here's the deal. When it's rice and beans and rice, gazelle intensity, working 3 or 4 jobs. The last couple times I've been on the show, we've had single moms, back-to-back shows, who paid off an enormous amount of debt with multiple kids, doing everything. That is suffering.
That's
to
passion.
suffer. That means these people know it. The word passion, folks, we got to get this. This isn't like some romantic, motivational poster word. This is, I am willing to suffer, to go through pain and withhold pleasure. That's what that means, in order to get an outcome that I desire greatly. Whether it's starting a business, inventing a product or service, getting out of debt, losing weight, changing your relationships, your marriage. I'm going to tell you something. Passion. You got to be willing to suffer for that outcome.
There you go. This is The Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Sam and Natalie are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
Very good. Where do you guys live?
We live in Minnesota.
Oh, wow. What part?
Just south of Minneapolis.
Okay, fun. Good to have you guys. Welcome. And how much debt have you paid off?
Dave, we paid off $320K.
$320K. And how long did this take?
58 months.
Okay, cool. Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
We went from about 115. Last year we did 205, and we'll probably hit 2.25 this year.
Good for you. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm an operations manager.
And I'm a stay-at-home mom to these 4 amazing kids that we have here with us.
I love it. So I'm guessing with 58 months and $320,000, did you guys pay off your house?
We sure did.
Wow! Look at it, weird people. I love it. Good for you guys. And it took you 5 years, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow. Amazing. How old are you two?
I'm 39.
I'm 36.
All right. And what's this house worth?
In this crazy market, they got it about $475.
And it's all yours.
Yeah, that's
How
right.
does it feel to not have a payment in a stinking world, man? That's amazing.
It's still sinking in, to be
Wrapping
honest.
our heads around it.
Yep, it's still sinking in.
Pretty amazing. Well, tell me the story. What in the world happened here?
Well, I've always been kind of money-driven, kind of money-focused. But I was out in Denver, and I was buzzing around the AM radio, and I heard this Southern guy come on the radio, and he was talking all about money and interviewing people about money, and I was glued. I was hooked. And anyway, I just turned it off. I parked the car, and that was it. And I was out there again, another trip a couple months later, and I found you again on the radio, and I was leaving Denver. But before I did that, I pulled over, and I was like, this guy's got to have a podcast or something. And so sure enough, I found your podcast, downloaded it, and then I binged it from Denver to Minneapolis, no stopping.
Oh, you drove? Oh, my gosh.
All the way home.
The whole way. And I was just hooked. And so, I got home, and I said, Nat, I'm like, hey, we've been doing this, doing that. I'm like, we got a new goal. We got a new plan here. And we talked budget, and that was not the easiest thing to introduce, but she was.
I was up to my eyeballs in babies and toddlers.
Yeah.
I was not sure I wanted to take on a whole nother challenge. He was doing such a good job with my finances. I was like, let's just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going to let it go.
I just wanted to step it up a little bit. And anyway, Ken Coleman there, he was the MC of the Rachel Cruz, Les Parrott Marriage and Money event that you guys did in Minneapolis a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Natalie and I went to that, and Natalie really connected with Rachel's message about permission to spend.
We've lived a really frugal life, like we've always had hand-me-down clothes, and we've shopped at Goodwill, thrift stores, stuff like that. We've always been pretty tight. But when she was talking about permission to spend and putting that in the budget, I couldn't really wrap my head around that. And then as she talked it through, I was like, okay, this is going to make life easier. And so I was like, let's try it. Let's go ahead and try it. Cause I won't, stop when I see something like when our kids need clothes. I won't be like, oh, I don't know if I want to spend that. But the permission to spend is a big thing for us.
Yeah, it is. That's really what the budget is. It's because you decided together that this meets our goals, and we have this much allocated to this, so you have to spend it on that, because that's what it's for. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So was that a moment where the budget thing was a little bit like, I don't know, and then when she gave you that psychology on that, it was like, oh, now the budget's not this big, nasty monster.
Yeah, it flipped it upside
Very
down.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I grew up working from a really, really young age, and when we had our first daughter, we decided to stay. I was going to stay home and take care of the kids, so not having an income going into things together, I was like, oh, I can't spend anything. And I felt terrible spending money that he was bringing home. So that kind of gave it a purpose that it wasn't his money, it was our money together. And that also really helped having that budget put there.
Yeah. Wow. Way to go, guys. And your house is paid for.
Yeah.
At the end of the story, touchdown.
Yep.
It's all about downloading and binging a podcast.
Pretty much. And that it didn't stop there, Dave. I just submerged myself in your material from there on out, and it was a big motivator to stay focused and keep the task at hand.
Yeah. Well, way to go, you guys. We're so proud of you. Well done. Who are your biggest cheerleaders?
Oh my gosh, we have such a good network of friends at home. Our family, they've all just been super supportive and have really helped us along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Good. Well done, you guys. So well done. Proud of you. Now that you're done, you don't have the payment in the world, what are you going to do next?
We're going to travel a little bit more.
Good.
And we're going to be more giving. We're gonna give back a little bit more, I think.
Good. That's a good answer. Well done. Good job. Well, we got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you. That is definitely where you are. You're going to bring a whole new legacy into your world because of what you've done. And a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away. Pay it forward and get somebody else on this journey with you. Give them the encouragement of your story, because you got quite a testimony. Very, very well done. And you brought the kiddos with you. What are their names and ages? Let's get them up into the shot.
All right, so we got Brad, he's 14. Mm-hmm. We've got Maddie, she's 10, and Macy's 9, and Alita is 6.
All right, good-looking guys. Now, they've all the way from Minneapolis. Have they been practicing
a couple times, yeah. I think
we kind of know what we're doing.
I think we'll pull it off.
All right, good deal. Sam and Natalie, Bradley, Maddie, Macy, and Alita. $320,000 paid off in 58 months, making $115,000 to $225,000. House and everything. These are weird people. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free.
Yes.
Yeah, they did it. Woo! Way to go, kiddos. Yeah. Boom. I love it. Very well done, you guys. Very well done. That's amazing. It changes everything.
Yeah, it really does. You look at 4 kids, and you look at the legacy they've been handed.
And they're not even 40 years old.
No.
And they have a paid for $500,000 house.
Game changer.
Wow. It changes everything. I mean, if you just take a house payment from 40 years old and invest a house payment from 40 to 65, it's going to be millions upon millions of dollars. That one thing.
Yeah.
Just that one thing.
Yeah.
Your most powerful wealth building tool is your income.
Yeah.
And when you don't give it to Countrywide, when you don't give it to Toyota Motor Credit, Ford Motor Credit, when you don't give it to MasterCard, who named that anyway?
Mm-hmm.
When you don't give it to Discovered Bondage, when you don't give it to American Distress, when you have your most powerful wealth building tool and you invest it from 40 to 65, it's millions of dollars. Everyone in America should be a millionaire. Instead, we build tall buildings in the skyline for major corporations that are screwing you.
Yeah.
It's time to stop it. They stopped it. They're free. They broke the chains off. Did you see Superman rip the chains off? I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
He just busted them off.
Yeah.
No more kryptonite in that house.
No.
Pretty cool stuff, dude.
Yeah. I love it. I love what she said about Rachel's talk. One line in there changed the entire attitude towards the discipline. It wasn't holding us. The budget wasn't holding us down. It was freeing us up. Fantastic.
Oh, it's
decision.
It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, permission to spend.
Yeah.
That's why people love Rachel, because she's so nice. And
yeah, she says it way nicer than you, Dave.
I know. And I'm just so...
You're like, do a budget or you're an idiot.
Stop
she goes, hey, guys.
Don't stop it.
Hey, guys, it's permission to spend. And it works. It works. So good.
Stop it. This is the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Earl is in Kansas City. Hey, Earl, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. My situation is very simply this. I'm a minister. I've been in a nonprofit ministry now for 8 years. And for the last 7 years, I've been running a program to help men get off their feet. If they're have mental disorders, we help them get med compliant to go on with their life. If they have addictions, we help them get clean. I teach about 20 different classes. After my program, which is 6 weeks, they go on to a 9-month-long program to really help them get stable. The reason why I'm calling is about 6 months ago, they hired a new chief operating officer to run ministries. And she's coming in and making so many changes that I'm really sort of going to be on the sideline now. And that's okay. If it makes the ministry better, I'm all for that 100%. However, a week ago, I sent an email and I said, hey, can you tell me exactly what my job's going to be? Because I'm not certain. In writing, can you tell me what I'm going to be doing? They have not responded yet. And I'm just feeling, I've ministered to over 1,000 men in this time. And I've built this ministry so much. And now the person's coming in. And I'm not mad at them. I don't have sour grapes. I want to be used of God. Now, I have so many talents that aren't being used right now. I've thought about doing something else. I just don't know what to do and still remain in God's will and still be a servant of the Lord to use the gifts that I have.
Well, Earl, first of all, let's acknowledge the fact that you may not have sour grapes and you may not be mad, but you're hurt. And you need to acknowledge that. And that just is a painful situation. While I don't know the details, doesn't sound like you do either, the fact that you emailed, I think that's a great step. Hey, what does a win look like for me? That's essentially what you asked in a very clear email, and there's been no response in over a week, so that's not healthy. And even in ministries, there's poor leadership. Poor leadership exists everywhere because we live in an imperfect world. But I want to address the big thing that you're feeling is that you don't know what to do to remain in the call. And that's just simply not true. You don't know the details yet. And because you haven't even decided, hey, am I supposed to leave? I think probably that's coming in your future. I think you need to be exploring that. But you're going to continue to do the same type of work, whether it's specifically exactly like what you've been doing. Don't overthink that. But the fact is, until you feel a release from ministry, you're still supposed to be in ministry. And there's so many ways that you can do that, whether that be in a nonprofit or a parachurch ministry like you've been in, or in the church itself. But I don't want you to be so discouraged that, hey, I've poured so much of myself into this ministry the last 7-8 years. I don't know what I'll do next. You don't know the details, but you do know you're still going to serve people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And you do know you're going to do something similar to what you used to do. That was where you were in a zone.
That's
man.
Exactly right.
Yeah, well, I can't.
It may not be there, but you do. None of what you've done in the past is lost.
That's right.
Oh, no question.
No, I'm not talking about the people you served. I'm talking about it's not lost in that it became experience in your brain. You're better at what you do now than you were 10 years ago. Agreed?
Oh, yes. I appreciate that. If I go for a week without preaching or teaching, I'm like, I can't wait to get back.
Okay, so Earl, right there's the answer.
Yeah.
You need to be preaching and teaching. Don't make it any more complicated than that. So now it's not what I'm doing, it's where I'm going to do it. Hey, God, it feels like this door is closing. So open up a door. Show me. I mean, you know this, man. The Bible says without faith, it is what? Impossible to please. Yeah, so at this moment, you're hurting, and I understand that. I would maybe ask for one more clarification. If I get another delay of 3 or 4 days, brother, I wouldn't read into that. That is a sign, and it's time to move on, and I'd be looking. But you know exactly what you need to be doing. It's now, where can I preach? Where can I teach? Where can I pour into men, the least of these? And that's what you've been doing. So you're in the Kansas City, Missouri area. There's a lot of ministries, whether it be, again, in the local church or the parachurch ministry, even outside of Kansas City. Yeah, this is a function of you saying, God, I understand this door is closing. I'm going to continue to do the same type of thing, but now in a different place.
Earl?
Yes.
Does that work?
I thought you went off the air. So,
no. Does that work?
I thought you cut me off. That's good. That's fantastic. That's going to work. I also have, I'm a gifted writer. I'm a gifted musician.
Yeah.
I've got so much to offer.
Yeah.
The answer is, you need to change your narrative. It's not that you don't know what you're gonna do. You don't know where you're going to do it, and that's just part of this deal.
Yeah. Good job, Earl. Yeah. You got this.
That stinks, Dave, because
it's bad.
There's poor leadership in ministry as well.
It's just bad. Yeah. Because listen, if they don't have a seat for him, because of the changes, it is unkind to be unclear.
Ignore the guy
gentle,
for a week.
serving, kind guy, and all you got to do is look at him and tell him the truth.
Yeah.
That's the only kind thing you can do, whatever the truth is.
Yes.
We've got a big deal we're cooking up for you over here, or we got a big deal we're cooking you out of here. Whatever it is, tell him.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. It's cowardice.
100%. Couldn't add
leadership
one thing to that.
Cowardice.
They're going to ignore this guy's email for a week because they don't know how to tell him that maybe he's not in the big picture anymore. And it kills a guy like that.
Man, when I first started leading, bossing people, in the name of being nice, I wouldn't tell people the truth. Yep. I know that's hard to imagine. But I would just beat around the bush, or I would just delay, or I don't want to say something I don't want to have a hard conversation with somebody. And I thought that was being nice, and I finally realized to be unkind to be unclear is to be unkind.
One of the greatest leadership lessons you can ever learn, that little phrase right there.
To be unclear is to be unkind. It requires courage and strength to be kind. And sit and look at someone and say, you've served this place a long time, 1,000 men. we're taking a left turn here, a right turn here, and we don't have a seat for you when the music stops. And we want to honor you and honor the work that you've done and help you on to your next thing.
Yeah.
And that should have been the response 5 minutes after that email was sent. Because this ministry that this lady's running is not that big.
No.
He's down the hall.
Right. Oh.
She walked past him 7 times.
Oh, yeah.
It's just cowardice. Just cowardice.
Yep, that's right.
Jessica is questionable whether we're going to get to you or not. Go real fast, Jessica.
Hi, I live in Tallahassee, and I bought a house a couple of years ago, and I'm buying it from the owner, so I don't have a mortgage or anything as far as like interest involved, but I need to put a roof on my house, and I'm just starting on baby step 1, and I'm trying to find out, like, should I continue with my baby step 1 and just continue to build it up until I have enough to put a roof on my house?
You need $1,000 before you need a roof. Is the roof leaking?
Okay. It does, but I mean, I have tarps on it, but it's like after about 3 or 4 months, and the sun bleaches the tarps out, and then I have to replace them again, and that's like $250, $350.
What's it take to put a roof on the house?
I've been quoted $5,000, and they want to help me out because I'm a single mom. So I'm really hoping to go with that company, but that quote was it was 2019 when I got it.
Yeah,
so.
You need to get some more quotes. This house is not that big.
No, it's not very big at all.
Yeah. What do you make, honey?
I usually less than 30, 28.
Yeah. $5,000's a lot of money in your world. Yeah. Are you in a good church? If you're not in a good church, get in one or find a local pastor and tell him your story and ask him if there's some guys in the church that can help you out.
Yes.
This is an opportunity for somebody to help, and you need some help right now. Yeah, blue tarps ain't cutting it. I don't blame you. I'm sorry. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section or head to theramseyshow.com. Thanks for listening.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, host of The Ken Coleman Show, where he talks about jobs and careers and finding work that you love, finding work that matters. He's my co-host today. That means you can talk about your career as well as anything else you want to call in about. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Christina is with us in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Christina. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I was wondering about selling our home in this great market right now. So we purchased the home for about $160. We owe about $110 still, and it's listing for about $450. The thing is that we have significant student loans. We have about $275 worth of student loans, $275,000.
For what? Who's the doctor or lawyer?
My husband is a physician's assistant, and then I'm a mental health therapist.
Good. Okay. So your household income over 200?
It should be this year.
Okay.
This year, I've really hit it hard with my own private practice.
Good. Good. And what was it last year?
About $165.
Yeah. Okay. And so you got a pretty good trajectory on both of your careers, which is the payoff for getting good degrees, but now we've got the debt associated with them, right?
The mess, yeah. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've got a choice.
Stupid back then, so.
Mathematically, you've got a choice. Live like a college student, spend absolutely no money, and keep your house and be debt-free in 3 years. Or sell your house.
My husband wants to keep it for like a rental type of property.
You don't need a rental. You're broke.
Okay.
You're $275,000 in debt. You're not in a position to be investing in real estate.
Well, not right now.
I know.
We pay everything off.
I know.
Okay.
So do you want to live there with absolutely no lifestyle, work like absolute maniacs, and clean up this ridiculous mess that you have in 3 years or less, or do you want to sell the house to get out now? Either one is okay. There's no bad answer here. It's what you want to do.
I would love to sell. I'm eager to get out of debt. He likes the idea, or he's playing around with the idea of selling it, but he's definitely more for he wants it for that potential passive type of income later on.
Yeah. Well, that's long-term thinking, which is not bad, but I don't know if he realizes what this is about to cost him. He's not going out to eat for the next 3 years. He's not going on vacation for the next 3 years.
We have 2 kiddos. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
I mean, kiddos survive without restaurants. They have done it for centuries.
Yeah, they don't even care. Give them a bowl of goldfish and chicken nuggets, and they're thrilled. So this isn't about the kids.
Right.
I think Dave brings up a good point. Does he understand how hard this is going to be to pay this off in 3 years? I don't think he does.
Well, no, I mean, he's really good with money, so he's attacking it.
No,
really
he's
hard.
not. He's $275,000 in debt. He's not good with money.
I mean, he attacked it really hard during this no interest. I mean, he went down from 170 to about 140, so he's definitely working hard at that.
I just think that if you're the one that wants to pay the house off now, you've got to cast a little bit more vision for him. That's the one I would choose. But I would sit down with Stacy and go, here's why I want this. If we sell this now, boom, it's done. We both make really good income. We can rent in a really nice place and still be emergency fund fully funded immediately with the kind of income you guys have. And we can save up, and then we can get a nicer house and put a really great down payment on it. I just think you got to show him the other side of this as opposed to what I think is a status symbol, which is this, I'd like to have passive income with this small house. I would just cast different vision here. Have you guys really talked about your side of this thing and where it fast forwards your life so much faster? Have you done that?
I have, yes. I've honed in on that like this week. That's why, I've been trying to call all week.
No, I'm saying, you've talked about that and painted a clear vision for how this fast forwards everything.
I believe I have, yes.
Okay. So here's what I heard. I just told you to pay off $100,000 a year, and you went and bragged about him paying off $30,000 in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in a couple months.
Oh, a couple months he did that?
Uh-huh.
You said during the no interest, and the no interest has been a year. So I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's probably since, I guess, about a year or since the beginning of the year or so.
The beginning of the year.
He's hit it hard. Yeah,
Okay.
He's hit it hard.
Okay. Because $100,000 a year is $8,000 a month. So $30,000 would be done in just a little over 3 months. If he did that, then he's hitting it hard. I'll go with you. Okay. But I heard a year. I thought I heard a year when you said that. You didn't say a year, but I heard since they stopped having interest on the loans, which has been a year. So anyway, okay. So yeah. And by the way, he was paying off his debt, not our debt. So somehow I don't know where we got on that. But I think the two of you need to sit down together and go, all right, one of these two things is going to happen. We're either going to have no lifestyle and we're going to hit this hard for 3 years and be debt-free, $300,000 in 3 years. Or we're going to sell the house, rent for a little while, have an emergency fund, build up cash for a down payment, and buy another house, and we'll buy rentals later. You're always going to have good incomes because you have two very good career fields if you work hard and continue with your craft and so on, right? So, a $250,000 income, it's not hard to save up and pay off your own home and then save up and buy your first rental within the first decade here. It's very doable. But I think you're getting the cart in front of the horse. We're talking about rental properties while we still have a house mortgage and we still have $275,000 in student loan debt. It's out of order. That comes later. So I would either sell the house or hold on to it with the idea that we're probably going to sell it later and move up in house and get that house paid off before we start adding rentals. Paying it off and paying off the student loan debt and then going and taking a mortgage to buy your next home is not something I would tell you to do. And so he's, again, putting the cart before the horse with all that. So I'm kicking this rental thing down the road a little bit. I like rental property. I want you to have some rental property, but broke people shouldn't buy rental property. It's not a good thing. Makes you broker. That's why I call them real estate brokers. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ken Coleman is my co-host today. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Chris is with us in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Ken, so much. So I have a unique situation. My grandmother just recently passed away, and I am set to receive around $50,000. Due to a lack of me caring about my grades in high school, I had to take out a lot of student loans, and I worked really, really hard, graduated top of my class during college, and now I have a really great job with the federal government. I currently owe $71,145 in federal loans, and then $46,265 with Sallie Mae. I currently pay $900 a month in Sallie Mae, but fortunately my employer will pay off all of my federal loans, and they're currently paying $678 per month. So my question, and if I stay for 8 more years, they will pay my federal loans off completely. So my question is with this inheritance money, I'm planning on paying off my Sallie Mae completely. But then after that, should I use that payment of $900 a month and just add that on to the amount that's already being paid by my employer and just knock out my federal loans quicker? Or should I use that $900 a month and invest it, even though I know that we shouldn't invest until after we get out of baby step 2?
Yeah. And so how much is the loan that will be paid off over 8 years again?
It's $71,145.
Okay. And they're paying 100% of it, but over 8 years?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you make?
$40,000 a month. I'm not a month, a year. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's a government job everybody wanted for a minute there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So is this a good career path for you, or is this golden handcuffs?
It is. My degree is in emergency management, and so it's kind of in public service, and that's what I wanted it to be. Really, it is long term.
So there is a path here for you to make more than 40,000 then.
Oh yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay, because you need to make more than 40,000.
Yes, sir. I definitely recognize that. I need to have a bigger shovel, and I plan on doing some side jobs as well.
With that all said, then what I tell folks to do, where you've got someone else that's willing to pay off your loans, and I'm not talking about government forgiveness. This is an actual employer program where they're reducing and paying your debt off. Okay, so what I would do is I want you to save your emergency once you're debt free, not counting the $71,000. Then I want you to save $71,000.
Okay.
And that's your next goal, as if you had to pay off the debt. But we're not going to pay it off. We're going to put it in savings. Okay?
Okay.
Now, once you've done that, then you've got that, and you could make that your emergency fund if you want. I don't care, but I need at least $71,000 in there before you move on to baby step 4. And here's my plan. If you get in a situation where some bizarre thing happens and there's like an ethics situation, I'll use that, okay? Something like that where you cannot stay. You have got to leave because they're doing illegal stuff or something like that, right? I mean, you can see no reason to leave right now, but I'm saying something happens that's bizarre and blows up this job. You've got the money in the savings account to write a check and be debt-free, and you're not forced to stay there with these golden handcuffs of this debt reduction benefit.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So you've got an exit strategy. So, in other words, if you've got $71,000 in debt that they're going to pay off, and you got the same $71,000 in a savings account that you're not going to touch for any reason, so you can hit eject if you need to, then we're going to call you debt-free. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir, it does.
And then let them pay it off, and you're going to have the $71,000 left over if everything works out the way you think it's going to. And then move on and start putting 15% of your income into retirement from there. That's a lot, and that's very unusual, by the way. I bet I haven't heard of a program that does that 10 times ever in 30 years. So it's an unusually good benefit. But we can't close our eyes and act like the debt is not still there. It's what we would call in finance a contingent liability. It's as if you co-signed on $71,000 and you were hoping the person who was the primary signer actually paid the freaking bill. Mm-hmm. But if they don't, you own the hook. And that's the case here. It's almost as if you're the co-signer now. They're the primary on the bill, but if they don't pay it for whatever reason, you're on the hook. So we're going to have that money as cover that contingent liability. It's not technically a contingent liability, but that's the way we'll treat it for purposes of execution on this process. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Free samples, free shipping, and new promos all the time. They are an incredible company. If you want window blinds, I'm getting ready to order some, by the way, and I have used this company a bunch of times. They are incredible. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from SJ in Wisconsin. He writes, I'm a licensed architect and have been in the industry for 10 years. While I make a good living, for years now I've felt the pull to use my expertise as a ministry opportunity. I have completed one pro bono project with a ministry partner, and now we've started another pro bono project. I feel God is calling me to do this full time. I don't know how to help those who have no way to pay while taking care of my own family. How can I blend my need to earn a living with my calling? Well, I love this question. And I'm not gonna question someone saying, well, I feel God is calling me to do this full time. However, when you feel that pull, SJ, that God's calling you to do this full time or maybe more, I don't believe God's going to call you into something and you not be able to take care of your family. So that's my theological. It's inconsistent with God. So he's going to provide. So here's what I would tell you. You're not going to make this step. You're not going to step out of being an architect into the great unknown and then say, hey, God, fill this. I think God will open up a door if you ask. And Scripture is very clear on that. So you can look into, okay, what would it look like for me to do this from a ministry standpoint? And I think potentially the answer is in your question. If you have, as an architect, work with a ministry partner, that's a ministry organization, to be able to do this type of work for families, then you need to figure out if they're willing to bring you on full time, and you kind of spearhead some of these projects, whether that be a Habitat for Humanity, and that's just an example, or whoever these ministries are. However, Dave, you and I have talked about this, and one thing I would push back if you were on the phone with me, I'd want to know more, because ministry is not separate from your occupation. Genesis chapter 2 makes it very clear that we were created to work. And when we work, we use the talents that God gave us. He's the creator. And we do work. Good work is a ministry. And it's not in separate. You don't separate the two.
You need to start looking at your paying customers.
That's right.
As spiritually valuable as your non-paying customers.
That's right. And could God be calling you to do more of this? But who says he's calling you away from your architectural career?
You and I have a good friend who's a bone and joint doctor who's working on your foot right now.
That's right.
As we speak.
That's right.
And you're going to pay him for that. When you see him, he prays for you every time.
He does.
He's a wonderful friend and a good man. Yeah. But every one of the people he ministers to pays him. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. He may work for free sometimes. I wouldn't say that. I don't know. I don't know that part.
But it is his profession that allows him to do that.
His profession is his ministry.
And allows him to do more ministry.
And he gets paid.
Yes, quite well.
And there's nothing inconsistent with that.
No.
So the problem is you've identified the wrong things as holy.
Uh-huh.
Non-profit is not the only holy thing. Non-profit is an accounting entry. Non-profit is an IRS designation. It's not in the Bible. Mm-hmm. Non-profit is not more holy than a doc working on you and getting paid and praying for you for God to heal your leg and his expertise to heal your leg.
And be careful not to feel the heart pull to do more ministry as a call or director from God to leave your income in your full-time profession. He might be, but don't assume that that's the case. That's what I want to be careful of.
Yeah.
You can do more ministry.
You're being gentler than I would be. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course. Everyone is. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's God.
Yeah, I would question it.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Tyson and Natalie are with us in Ogden, Utah, and it says on my screen, you guys are debt-free. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dave. We called to tell you thank you so much for all the good things you're doing and for helping us get here.
Well, I'm so proud of you guys. Well done. How much have you paid off?
$155,000.
Wow. How long did that take?
About 13 years.
Cool. And your range of income during that time?
We started at about $42,000. We're at about $75,000, and we've gone up and down a little bit in between.
Okay. What do you guys do for a living?
I manufacture nutritional products.
Okay.
And I'm home with the kids and teach an accounting course part-time online.
Cool. So what kind of debt was the $155,000?
It was a house.
Oh, talking to weird people. How old are you guys?
I just celebrated my 43rd birthday. My wife celebrated her 42nd.
Wow. Wow, and you're 100% debt-free.
Yep.
Wow. What's the house worth?
Well, now it's about, in the market we're at over here, about $350,000.
Oh, that's so nice. Woo! So tell us your story. What happened?
Well, I'm allergic to debt, and we just started paying down the house, and we took your class in 2010 just for fun because that's what I like to do for fun. I love accounting, family finance. That's what I studied. So we took your class, and we just kept paying, and we just paid every month and paid extra when we could. And it was just really simple, nothing flashy, and here we are.
Wow. Good for you guys. Well, you plowed right through in 13 years.
Yep.
Man, that's perseverance.
Yep.
Were you systematically paying extra on it all the time or just hit or miss?
We set goals to get certain amounts we could, and when we refinanced to a shorter term loan, we kept paying the same amount that we already were doing, so that helped us a lot.
Yeah, so we started on a 30-year loan. When we started in 2006, the interest rates were really high, so they were like 6.75. So we really did pay it like a 15 for a year and a half until it went up in enough value that we were able to get rid of PMI, and it was exactly what a 15-year was, and then we paid it off early from there.
Wow. Look at you guys. Very systematic, very much process. I love it. That is a beautiful story. That's a real testament to your personal discipline.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, how did you mentally handle the dips when you had the income changes and then you had different things that had happened? I mean, this is 13 years. This is a long time, and you just stayed with it. What would you say to folks who are in that mindset of, hey, I want to pay the house off? Is it possible?
Well, when we had the increase in income, we went up to as high as $89,000, and we didn't increase our living. We just threw it in the Roth around the house. And then when we had the dip in income, we went through unemployment and we went to zero. We just hung on, and we were prepared, and we just weathered the storm. And so to other people that are out there, I would just say, we're real average, and anybody can do this. So you just, when it gets hard, you just, you dig deep and you celebrate the little successes.
Yeah. I love that. They weather the storm, Dave. They didn't quit.
Yeah, that's it.
Storms come, right?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is be ready for them.
Mm-hmm. Don't be shocked. They're coming. Yeah.
Yep.
That's way to go, you guys. Very, very proud of you guys. So you took the class for fun in 2010, and here you are in 2021 with a paid-for house.
Yep.
Wow. So you were already on your way by then. Look at you. This is so fun. How does it feel to not have a payment in the world?
It's great.
A little strange, but we like it.
Yeah. It's almost surreal. So how many kids do you have? What are their names and ages?
We have 4, and there is Jacqueline, our oldest, and she is 15. Then Wesley is our next oldest, and he's 12. Then we have Tommy, who's 11, and Chloe, who's 9.
All right. Are they around, or is it going to be a family affair to do your debt-free scream, or what?
3 out of the 4 with us.
That's pretty good. That's not bad. Good, good. Well, we've got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you. That's for sure your next chapter in this story, and an extra copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to be able to give away to someone and start their journey. So proud of you guys. You're absolute heroes. Well done, well done.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you so much.
Well, we appreciate you. Tyson and Natalie, Ogden, Utah. $155,000 paid off in 13 years, making 42 to 75. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! Oh, man. That's so fun. Very, very well done, you guys. You know, oftentimes when we see these things, we talk about the legacy and changing your family tree. And we've developed all these teaching tools for you to teach your kids how to handle money. And that completes the changing of the family tree that way. So right now we've got them on sale. We've just dropped our prices up to 80% on our best-selling kids products, so you can have fun and you can have an educational summer all at the same time. The Adventure Pack is a family favorite that includes the new Storytime collection. All of the juniors' adventures are in one big, thick book now. Financial Peace Junior, the Smart Saver Bank, all for teaching kids how to have money, how to do well with money. And the best part is you can add an extra kid for each sibling. All of this is 80% off right now. You got a teenager? Well, the Teen Entrepreneur Toolbox by Anthony O'Neill is the perfect, safe, and flexible way for them to create their own summer job, turn a hobby or an idea into a real business. You can learn hard work, you can learn leadership, you can learn responsibility. You learn how to make a profit. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. That's how this country was built. So all of this 80% off right now, kids and teens sale at the online store at RamseySolutions.com. RamseySolutions.com. Terrell is in Sacramento. Hi, Terrell. How are you?
Hello, Dave. I'm well. How about yourself?
Great. How can we help?
Yes. So my question is, I have a paid-off car. It's 1 year old, and I got it appraised for just about $26,000. Now, that car was my only and last debt. My question is, should I sell the car, because that's essentially all of my net worth, but should I sell the car? And the reason for my question is it has a maintenance package for 5 more years.
What's your income?
Well, full disclosure, I'm a student and a veteran, so I've got a little bit of disability income as well as working full-time. So just about, I'd say, $50,000.
Okay. Well, if you like the car, you can keep it. It's less than half your annual income, and it's paid for. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's fine. You're right. It is your entire net worth, and you don't want, more than 50% of your income tied up in things with wheels and motors. And you're right close to that, but you're not. And, but here's the trick. Going forward, if you really want to become wealthy, you keep the smallest possible percentage of your income tied up in things that are going down in value. And so you wouldn't make this mistake again. It's not such a big mistake you've got to undo it and sell it, but it's a lot of car for you. It's over the top, really. But I'd probably keep it if I'm in your shoes. And thanks for your service to our country, sir. Our scripture of the day, Isaiah 26:3, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Lou Holtz said, it is not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jason is with us in Fort Worth. Hi, Jason. How are you?
How's it going, guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
I had a question for you. So I kind of want to make sure I'm on the right track. I'm looking to buy a business or buy a portion of a business, and I'm just kind of want to make sure I'm in the right stage of my life and I got things in order where I can do that.
Okay. So how much is it going to be?
So I've got an agreement with the guy for 33% of the company, and it'd be about $40,000.
Why would you buy 32%?
Or 33%. So I am kind of in the portion where I came in as a business developer. So he wants to be part of the company, and it's a side gig I have. So I'm not going to be there full time. but I can be there I can have 33% of the company and still do my primary job.
No, thank you. I'll pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Hard pass.
You want to know why?
Okay. Yes, I would.
You have absolutely no power. You have a minority position, and he can decide to make decisions tomorrow that bankrupt it, and your 33% equals 0. You have absolutely no say whatsoever in this. You're a minority stockholder in a small business. That's broke, by the way, because they need a cash influx.
Now, would it be better if I could work out 50%?
51.
51%?
Yeah, then you can control it. I'd prefer 100, though. I mean, if 40 buys 33, 120,000 buys the whole stinking thing. Have you gained money?
The part of the thing is that I've doubled the income of the business to about. I do think he's undervaluing the company as well.
If he'll sell it for 120,000, do you have the money?
No, I do not.
Okay. So do you have the 40?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How much do you have to put towards this business?
I've got about 80.
Okay. And what is the net profits of the business?
So as of right now, it is a subcontractor for construction, so it kind of fluctuates. But right now, it's about 200,000.
Profit?
Just this year. Yes.
Profit after everyone is paid and all expenses are paid.
Yes.
I'm so confused why he would sell this for $120,000.
So he doesn't want to sell. He just wants to sell at 33% because, and part of it is because I have the contacts. I work for a general contractor, so I have the contacts to grow the business exponentially, and that's where my 33% would come in.
Yeah. Okay. So what this is a bad comp plan. He wants to compensate you for all the value you've brought to the business. And the way he's doing that is he's putting you in as a minority shareholder. And it's a good way for you to end up with losing money rather than making money. You shouldn't have to pay for this. So what he should do is agree to pay you a percentage of the profits as your comp.
Okay.
Pay you like a partner. Pay you like a partner without any stock transfer at all.
Okay.
But you don't have ownership. You just are paid off the bottom line like a partner. That's how our operating board is paid here at Ramsey. I've got 17 operating board members. All of them are paid off the same line I'm paid off of. But they don't own stock.
And that'd be for risk reasons?
No, it's because they make a whole lot of money that way. And I want you to make a whole lot of money, but I don't want you to put in any money, and I don't want you to feel like you own something when you don't, because when you own 33% of something, you own nothing.
Yeah. This is a side hustle for you. How much are you making personally off of this side hustle?
I'm making $40,000 off the side hustle, and me and my wife together make about $155,000.
Yeah, ask him to pay you 1/4 of the profit.
Yep.
For doing the work you do.
Because you're bringing all the growth,
and that would be $50,000 a year. That'd give you a $10,000 a year raise, and then as you bring in more and more and more, he keeps paying you 1/4 of the profit. You're going to make a lot of money as you make more profit.
Yep.
So, but what he's confusing and you're confusing is a comp plan with a partnership, and you do not need to. You don't want to pay to own a 33% interest. Now, if he wants to give you 1/3 of the company to say thank you for growing the business,
yeah, sure,
I'll take it. But I'm not paying for it because you have 0 voting rights. Anything you say, he can say, I don't want to do it. I'm going to do this instead. And he could just change his mind. Or his wife could come in and decide that she wants everybody to be fired, and he fires everybody. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff happens with people when they do not own the control of a company that they have paid to have a percentage of.
Yeah.
And so it's just a problem. I would not pay for it. But maybe he could just give it to you. If you've grown the business that much.
Yeah, it sounds like that this guy wants him to keep making it rain, and he realizes that Jason is the rainmaker. Well, here's the challenge with that. If you're the rainmaker, at some point, he's got to give you more of that, or else you could go do this on your own. You've got all the context. This is subcontracting. This is all about relationships. That subcontracting and construction, that's all that is.
Listen, it can be a comp plan without it being an ownership plan.
That's right, because you actually see the money, Dave's point.
You've watched me do this around here. You've been around here 15 years. You've watched me. There's rainmakers in this place.
Yeah.
And you know what? They make a lot of money.
Right.
Because they make us a lot of money. And it's fair to share with them. Yeah. But you know how much Ramsey stock they own? Zero. So I didn't get confused between ownership and comp.
Yeah. And
your compensation does not have to be stock.
Yeah, and to your point, Dave, they don't want ownership if they're making rain. If they're making it, they're making it. They know this is not about ownership. And so I don't know if this guy's trying to pull a deal here, or if he just doesn't understand how to.
I think people get confused. He thinks he's doing a nice thing.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's a $40,000 ripoff.
I think that's right.
Yeah. So ask him to just give you the 33, or just say, you know what, I don't need 33. 25 would be great. Just give me a fourth.
Yeah.
And then let him pay you off the bottom line, and then pay your salary too. Then you'll be getting some serious money going.
Yes.
That'd be, there you go. Ding, ding.
And that's the win-win.
Yeah.
Help him see that it is a win-win. He may not even know how to articulate win-win, which is what we suspect here. So really go back with what Dave laid out here. This is going to be a fabulous deal.
But if he decides to spend $250,000 on a computer system or a software program or purchase a truck.
That's correct.
You got zero say in that. Zero.
Yep.
If you're a minority owner and you paid $40,000 to sit there and get additional comp, you're kind of like buying comp. You're buying compensation is what you're trying to do, and it's just not a plan. It's not the way to play it out. So we spend a lot of time on compensation programs here. And those of you running businesses, check out EntreLeadership. We're really, really good at it. We have figured out people do what you pay them to do. And so we try to figure out all kinds of interesting ways to pay people to remind them that what they're doing is what they get paid for. And it's motivating as crud when you get it right, and it's demotivating as crud when you don't. So, yeah, and we made the decision a long time ago that this is not a publicly traded company. This is an organization operated. God owns it, and the Ramseys run it. And we're sharing, and we're very, very generous in our comp.
Yeah,
especially with rainmakers.
Yeah,
why? Because we want them to make more rain.
Yeah.
Why is this a hard formula for corporate America? They try to screw everybody. You don't need to get screwed. Why do people do this? You don't need to do it. So yeah, it's good, very good. It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's an interesting discussion. Thanks for giving a soapbox for us to jump up on. Ken Coleman, good show today.
Thank you, sir.
James Childs, our producer. Kelly Daniel, our associate producer and phone screener. Great job as always. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there is ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.